Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Between the Lines, the electronic version of the Five Towns Jewish Times. I'm Larry Gordon with Esta Gordon. Our guest today,
Our special guest
is Altchie Pelcovitz. She's a name that is well known here in the Five Towns where we're recording, and I suspect in other segments of the Jewish community around the world. So before we get started with our guest, I just wanted to play something for our audience that I came across on Instagram this morning that I think will set the tone for what we're about to discuss.
I understand she's skinny now, but was she heavier as a child? I don't care. It's very important for the boy to know. Is anyone in the family a redhead? Would you say she has a lot of opinions? He wants to date someone very easygoing. Does she sing non-Jewish music in the shower? What type of shalach does her mother give? How old was she when she started reading? Does she have anxiety? Does she take medication for her anxiety? Okay, having anxiety is okay, but he doesn't want to date a girl that takes medication. Does her mother serve the dips in the container that they came in, or she takes them out and puts them into nice fancy bowls? For Shabbos candles, does she light an actual candle or the oil? Is the oil a color? Okay, what color? Okay, a little bit of a nerdy out-of-town type, we understand. We did receive a Shidduch picture with the resume. It was a headshot. So I was wondering if maybe you had a full body picture, including the shoes. It says she went to Ma'ar Shana Bet, but where was she Shana Aleph? Sharfman's. We didn't know that. Does she wear tights? Okay, and in Florida, does she also wear tights? Okay, what about she's in Florida, on the beach, there's mamish sand in between her toes. Is she still wearing tights?
Everything she said
was spot on.
Spot on.
You know what? I was just going over our numbers on our podcasts on our website with David over there, and he got up a whole graph for me here. And one of the things he said to me was, it seems to be an unusual amount of hits on stories on the website that have to do with dating. Of course, that's what people are interested in our community. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, you live here in the Five Towns in Lawrence, and you are a notorious Shadchan.
Notorious.
Okay, a notorious Shadchan.
Well known.
So how many years have you been doing that, and when did you decide that this is the trajectory you wanted to pursue, and how'd you get there?
So, I've been doing this for many years. I'm now like ebbing a little bit because I think I'm older than most people. No. But
then there are older people going out too,
yes.
So that works.
So in my 30s, I went to a shir in the Young Israel Lawrence Cedarhurst that was given by Tehillah Yeager, Rebbetzin Tehillah Yeager. And she was always very positive about everything and trying to make Yiddishkeit a positive thing. And she said in the shir, Hashem gives everybody kochos. And you have to realize what koach Hashem is giving you, and you have to try to use it for the good of Klal Yisrael. And I thought to myself, I love people. I love to talk to everyone. Maybe I could set people up. And just one thing led to another, and I'm very friendly. I'll talk to the wall, and I see someone good looking, and I go, "Who are you?" Yeah. And Baruch Hashem, 61 Shidduchim.
61.
That's amazing.
Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
Well, I'm a Hashem's partner. And
So,
it's such a schus.
We're talking about 30 years approximately, you think, you started this? Less?
I think 25.
25 years. So today people talk about Shidduchim in the context of crisis. A crisis.
Yeah, they make it
Shidduch
as a
crisis,
crisis.
Okay,
Yes.
and and I could see it because we dabble in Shidduchim.
Dabble all the time.
Not that successful. And I've made
Not
a few.
close.
I've made a few shidduchim. I have made several.
Oh, wow.
Shidduchim.
Yes, he has.
Amazing.
Yes.
I have made several shidduchim.
Isn't it the
And-
best feeling?
Important ones.
Yes, I specialize in like surgical shidduchim. They weren't easy. I had to do surgery in order to make them happen. But that's a different show. But in terms of there's different levels of shidduchim today. So do you have a specialty? So I think if you take a 24-year-old young man out of yeshiva and you want to set him up with a 21-year-old girl, that's easy. That's almost like, coming out and predicting in the morning that the sky is going to be blue and the grass is going to be green. But we've
been working. We don't do that. We deal with more difficult 30s cases and older.
Difficult. What I would call people they don't know what I'm talking about.
Just they're in a different place and their expectations are different.
So let me ask you this. I find that getting a boy and a girl to go out for the first time is more difficult to get them to agree to get engaged and get married.
Not necessarily.
So you disagree with me?
These days.
Okay, that was my question to you, really.
There is a much different mindset.
See?
They don't even go out. Like in the olden days, you would say, I think this could be good and this could be good. They have some things in common.
Right.
Let them go out on a date. No, not anymore.
They don't even call.
They don't
what
even.
Happens? So how does it work? How does it work
everybody
today?
wants perfection, and they have a checklist, and it has to check off the boxes. And if it doesn't check off all the boxes, then they're not even going to give it a date. They could be I've done many shidduchim where they're out of the clear blue sky. Why did I think of it? Hashem put it in my head, not me. But they didn't make sense. And they got married, and Baruch Hashem, all my shidduchim are still married. And they all lived, Baruch Hashem, happily ever after. But I was able to get the date because they trusted me. I was a straight shooter. I still am. I made sense, and they were willing to take more chances. These days, I don't want anybody to know that if my daughter goes out with this guy, then she won't be able to get a date with this kind of guy. So I got to say no, even though it sounds good. There are so many more things I could say, like the Israel thing. These days, if you don't commit to going to Israel, a boy to going to Israel during yeshiva, let's say you're 21, 22, and you have to say that you want to learn in Israel as long as it works, or definitely 5 to 7 years.
It's when the money runs out.
Definitely 1 to 2. And if, God forbid, you say, I learn every morning, I learn every night, I'm in school to be a so-and-so, and I'm a Torah, my life is Torah, and that's what it will always be. But I'm not going to Israel now full time to learn. That's considered modern. Mm-hmm. And I think that's nuts that you decide for the rest of your life and all your married years, I'm going to pick this guy because he says he's going to learn for 5 years in Israel. No other reason.
So are there just two categories, yeshivish and modern, or is there in between somewhere, different levels?
Well, the modern usually find their own.
No, not anymore. No. There's
Depends
modern.
Depends how you define modern.
This is what I ask sometimes.
What do
these days.
What do you call modern?
What modern? So that's another
modern?
thing. Modern is no shaitel, shorter skirts, pants. Shorter sleeves, sleeveless.
That's modern, yeah.
There are levels of
really
modern, there's levels of frum, which is, very tznius, elbows covered, neck covered, everything covered. And then there's, and shaitels, then there's falls, a little hair out, no hair out, short sleeves, not past the elbow, not past the knee. There are a million other things you have to clarify before where you fit.
No tights.
Right, sandals, no sandals.
You wear leggings, even though leggings
not
are
allowed.
okay.
Then
they're okay, but no, morally,
and then
it's
there's
off.
Kosher phones, English music, Hebrew music. There are such ridiculous things that do not make a good marriage.
So, but they are ridiculous, but you have to work within those parameters,
so
right?
if you can, you do. And if it gets frustrating after a while, and you're so frustrated with people going, my daughter's single and my son, and I need a shidduch. But hello, I'm giving you 4 girls or 4 boys. What's each one? No. What does that mean? Nobody?
I was telling Esta last week that we should do a program that has
He wanted to bring boys and girls.
Two single boys and 2 single girls around the table.
I knew
here.
we'd find the girls and not going to find the guys.
Just to not to match them up, just to discuss what it's like to be in the game. So
that's a good idea.
I think, of course, you have to find someone that's going to want to step out and be identified without a paper bag
None
over
of
their
them
face.
do.
They're
None
not
of
going to
them.
want to. You know, I had the idea years ago. The newspaper is 26 years old now,
Right.
and I dreamed in the very beginning we're going to help make shidduchim through
Right,
the paper.
through the paper.
I've asked people. Not one person wants to.
No, they all
step
want to
out
be
in
anonymous.
that direction. They'd rather be dating for 25 years.
But though I find since social media, things have progressed, meaning, there's a Shadchan in the city. I'm calling you out, Rivka Fox, who does Blind Fate or something like that, She's getting people and they're out there. And then there's now in the Five Towns, the Shidduch
The coffee lounge or something.
The Shidduch Lounge.
Shidduch
They've
Lounge,
made
Shidduch Lounge,
Shidduchim
yeah.
there. I
Right.
think it's amazing.
Right.
Though when I say to somebody, and I tell everybody to go, oh, no, I'm not going. Why aren't you going? No, I'm not there. I said, what is there?
Right.
That
They
you
feel
try.
that it's going to
It's
label
a very
them.
private thing, Shidduchim, I find.
Yeah, but I also get the impression that there are so many older singles today, more than usual,
Yes,
right?
there are.
The population's growing. Let's say the population is growing. But I also think that this idea of being taught, especially for a young lady, to be taught you can't date unless the phone rings and somebody is interested in setting you up. So 2 years goes by and you don't date.
True.
Unfortunately,
Right.
That's the
that is
case.
the system. It's terrible. It's terrible.
So
No, it's distorted. It's not terrible. And I also
You don't
said
think it's terrible?
corrupted.
it's completely distorted. And I always find that these people take more time and effort in buying a pair of shoes than really getting into the
finding a
guts
shidduch?
of going out and finding somebody. You know what? If you don't hear from anybody, take the bull by the horns and go on these sites and go to the Shidduch Lounge.
The girls will go. The boys will never go. I don't see boys going that much. They do go. Thank God they've made shidduchim. But
Right.
for the younger boys, like 21 to 25,
Oh, they won't, no.
never. Their
Never.
mothers won't let them.
No.
They wouldn't.
So let's talk about some, without identifying anybody, of course, some anecdotal type of situations. Like we try to set someone up
Just last night.
No, that's what I'm talking about years ago.
Oh.
where we wanted to set a woman up with a nice young man, but one of the parameters, if he's not going to tolerate short sleeves, what kind of sleeves is it called? The very short sleeves?
sleeves.
Cap
Cap
sleeves.
sleeves.
If no cap sleeves, he's not interested. Now, why is somebody interested, is so committed to the length of their sleeves to let it interfere with a potential match for them?
Because that I don't think
I
is
see,
so
but
terrible.
she's being you see, she's being honest.
But
This
you're
is what I
you're
want.
letting cap sleeves
One
define
second. No,
define
but
your
the
life?
truth of the matter is, it's not just the cap sleeves. She wants to go to movies. She wants to have a TV. She wants to live a certain lifestyle. Why would a girl that's going to be wearing pants and make believe she's not wearing pants so that she can get married and then a day later she's putting pants on?
Okay, so
problematic.
Alchie, you didn't mention TVs and movies. Is that TV and
yeah,
movies?
TV and movies
That's
and
also
English music.
English music.
Well,
Okay.
TV's one thing. Then there's movies because you're going out.
What about
Because
Jewish
nobody goes
music?
out anymore,
Right,
so they can
right,
watch the movies on
right.
the computer.
Yeah,
on the,
most of my kids have no TVs. What a joke!
I don't even
They
go to
all
the
have a
movies.
monitor.
I don't go to the movies because I'd
Well,
rather
neither
watch
do
it on
I.
TV.
Who goes?
Yeah. But there are, as far as the cap sleeves go, that's a hashkafa. And if you want your home to run a certain way, there's a difference
Right.
between someone
Right.
wearing long sleeves or sleeves covering their elbow to wearing
Then
cap
wearing
sleeves.
no sleeves.
It's just a difference.
Now, another one that we were involved in that also, like most of the ones that we tried, of course, because we're not professionals, so the
Right.
no-go
Neither am
was the black hat dynamic.
Oh, that-
okay,
that-
in this
that threw me off.
case, I think the boy left his black hat in the car.
Okay, so the boy is a wonderful from boy, and he's a little older, and he said, you know what? It's not Shabbos. I'm going out on my first date. I'm not wearing hats on my first date. Nothing wrong with that, right?
1 second, there might be.
Well,
Is
the
something wrong with
girl
that?
wouldn't give him a second date for that reason. Great guy.
So there, the shadchan should have. Shadchan
We-
has a big
we were the
responsibility.
shadchan,
Sorry, and you
and
told him to
we-
wear his black hat.
Well, no, you know
No.
what?
No,
I
so
didn't
you
tell
have
him
to.
to wear it because we didn't even think it was an issue at that
So
point.
when you do it a lot, you realize things you have to say beforehand.
Wear that black hat.
It's so funny. Like
Even though he wouldn't be wearing it ever.
It doesn't matter.
Esther, when our sons went out, we have 4 sons.
They went
Baruch
out with their
Hashem,
hats.
They
Yeah.
dressed up like they were
First
I don't
date for
know,
sure.
They dressed
Yes.
up like they were modeling hats.
That's
and
right.
that was the first and the last time they wore a hat.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
as if you have to present yourself
You
for the
do.
first time with a black suit and a white shirt, and a
Yes.
tie, and
Yes.
a hat.
Yes.
And that's the first and last time
Well,
you wear
5
it.
years later, they're both still single.
The ones we're talking about.
If they get like I know an older single girl who
The
is
30s?
very successful, brilliant girl, and she still won't go out with a very successful guy who's very frum, but he's working, that watches TV.
Oh, wow.
Oh, come on. You're 29. He's
Are you
32.
seriously? I
He
mean-
watches at night when he finally comes home from work to
To
just
unwind.
relax. No, will not.
So she's willing to throw her life away.
Yes.
Because that's what happens.
It's called silly shtick. That when you're a 21-year-old girl, okay, you don't know much, and this
Right,
is what
yeah,
they
it's
talk
all
to you about. So,
gaga.
okay, silly, but okay. But when you're older already, you have to let certain things go. Not the main things,
Right.
Torah,
Right.
davening, tefillin, kashrus, all that stuff. But you
She doesn't want Fox News at night either, I hear.
no, I
Nothing.
don't know. It's
Okay.
just
no TV. No,
No
TV.
TV.
Is
no
TV.
TV. No English music. And she gave in on English music. I said, what do you think they listen to? Black Sabbath? I mean, what do they
Yeah,
listen to?
yeah.
Nissan Black? No, they listen to Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, seriously?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not good either.
Okay.
So what do you find what is the oldest age group you've dealt with most recently?
What do I see?
What was the
What
oldest
is the
age group?
oldest age group that you've been dealing
I
with?
happen to have recently made 2 shidduchim. One was in their 60s, and the other one was also in their 60s. Yeah.
Okay, but
Not first timers.
first marriages.
no. Second marriages.
Second marriage.
First timers, the oldest I don't remember. I don't do so many of those.
Right.
You know why? Because a lot of them are stuck in their ways, and I'm not stuck in my ways. I'm very
Right.
verbal and I'm emotional.
And you think they should be a
when
little
I think,
flexible.
I think they should listen to me. If I'm
Right.
taking the time, I don't charge money for any
Right.
of this. I'm taking the time because I really want to help you and just go out on a date.
Right.
One, go for coffee. I don't believe in coffee. I believe a guy should show a girl.
That's what you said
a
the other
beautiful
day.
time. Go to dinner. Get dressed because you can't come like in your schmatas.
Right.
That's a boy. And because the girl's going to do her hair and put on her makeup.
Right.
And if she doesn't, that's
Well, my
not good
boys
either.
personally love dating because they went to every single restaurant. It was great. They had the credit card. They parked in a lot. They went to the best restaurants,
But
and
they
they
don't
had a
do
blast.
that anymore. They don't want to spend the money. Why should my son spend the money and take her out to a restaurant if it could only be one date? So I say, why should they go on a job interview that they may not get the job?
Very good
So if
analogy.
you go to
Right.
a job interview, you have to present yourself the best you could be. Same thing with pictures. I mean, I don't want to bring that up.
Right,
but
I know what you're
I get
saying.
more pictures that I've gotten with everybody half a face, half a body, and
You
with
have to get
another
a
girl, with
professional
another
picture.
boy.
Get a
And I go,
professional one.
what is that? Take a professional picture
Uh-huh.
because you're going for a job interview.
Right.
Or they have pictures with family members
you
holding
have-
their
yeah.
niece or holding their nephew.
I don't mind that so much because then you see them with the family. That's okay. But if you're sending a shot, let it be a good shot.
Right.
And what about the youngest? What age? What age would you recommend that girls and boys in our community
Should start dating?
Start contemplating dating. Second they get off the plane from Israel, from seminary.
I believe
These days,
young and dumb. I'm sorry, you grow together. I did that with my husband. My kids all did it. Baruch Hashem. And there's a lot of ups and downs and bumps in the road, but you're doing it together with the right parental guidance, meaning when mommy hears that her son didn't get supper on time for 3 days and she went out with friends and, oh, what a type of wife is that? Come home. Or a mother hears the guy was watching a show that wasn't proper or whatever right away. Come home. You don't do that.
All right. What about the involvement of parents in shidduchim?
that's what she was just talking
Okay.
about.
So I
I
think
mean,
that
more in
parents, when
detail.
they're so young,
Yeah.
I deal mostly with the parents because
Okay.
the boy and the girl are not doing anything without mommy and daddy saying it's
So
okay.
up to what point?
I feel up to like 26, 27, then you have to personally move
That-
out of the
that
house.
late?
Yeah.
Really?
Because Jewish mommies and daddies do not want their sons out of their house, because then chas v'sholem they'll get influence from the outside world.
I mean,
so they
look-
will keep them in the house.
Look what's going on in the
What?
Hasidic world. Look what's going on in the Hasidic world.
In this
the
world.
the boys are 19. Okay,
They're getting married to older girls.
The girls are 20. They always do. The boys are 19. You probably know this. The boys are 19. The girls are 20. They met for a total of maybe an hour, if that much,
Yes.
before they decided they're getting engaged.
because the parents did
And
all
then
the
they,
research
and then
already.
they don't get married for a year after that. The boy goes to yeshiva, they're engaged. The boy goes to yeshiva, and a year later there's a wedding.
For some reason, they know what they're doing.
That works.
It works, and because they're taught that from baby food, and that's what they see, and that's what everyone does. And listen, there are sometimes it doesn't work out, but I have many friends from Williamsburg and the Hasidic, very Hasidic community who I adore, and that's how their children with the Bashos. It's beautiful. But you can't have our children who've been exposed to the outside world so much, even in Darche and in
Right.
Tarvadas, they still live among
Yeah, they're not
Central
doing the
Avenue and
show.
Avenue J and Avenue M, and they still see. And you can't keep them in that cocoon like that so
All right,
much.
so let's talk about the protocol when it comes to interstate dating, or
Right.
Canadian girls, New York boys, California girls.
It can't be a one and done. If a guy comes in from
Right,
What's,
so
the,
usually
what's, the
it's-
what's the protocol to
So
that
usually,
dating?
from what I experienced, the proper way to do it, in my opinion, a boy goes, let's say the girl's from Toronto. He goes to Toronto Thursday. He has Thursday night. He sleeps over by a friend or someplace
Right.
Shabbos. He goes out Friday and Saturday night and Sunday.
4
Wow.
days. 4 days.
If it's not clicking Thursday night, but it clicks Friday, you want to relax Motzei Shabbos, but you can go out Sunday. So there's ways you can go around it, but at least 3 times.
Really?
And you would 3 times, if there's a possibility that there's something about her or him that you may find a little interesting, then the girl should come and go out on his territory, on his turf. And that's how I feel it should be.
So after the boy goes to her
And if they're
her city
interested,
or
she
state,
has- right.
wherever she lives, and then
Right.
if there's interest, then she comes into.
I did that
let's say
a
he
lot of
lives in New
times with
York.
daters, yes.
And what happens after that? How long
Then
does
they
that
go.
continue?
Then she
Depending
comes
how
back,
long they
and
wanna
then
date.
let's say she comes back for 3 dates, and by that time it's like 6 dates,
a
7.
lot.
And you know what? That's a lot of dates. So
Right.
by after that point,
Yeah, after that point, you probably know. So there's usually people I know that by after the 3rd date, they're already calling the halls to see what's available.
Pencil it in.
The penciling in dates. They're not committing to
little
anything.
fast, but
That's
yeah.
3 is a little fast. 5.
I think
What's
so.
the right number?
maybe
5.
I think it should
10,
be 6
8,
10,
to 8.
you know.
Sure.
10, 8.
But you can't tell. My granddaughter got, and she knew after 5 weeks. That was
Yeah.
it. We
Wow.
both, and I went like, "Are you nuts?" But no, they knew when you're lucky like that.
All right.
It's
So
wonderful.
what's the right amount of time for
There
people?
isn't.
There isn't a right. It's depending, but you can't push. You could push at a certain point where they're dating and dating and dating, and then really the boy knows everything about the girl, and the girl knows everything about the boy because they're shomer. That's for the
Right.
frum world. What else are you going to know? Except when you see them having the flu, or when you see the guy or the girl losing their temper. So you try to put those circumstances out there. Like usually the car gets
so-
I
towed.
know how your mind is working.
No. So you did 61 successful shidduchim.
Hashem.
Okay.
Chasdei
Baruch Hashem.
Hashem.
That's a lot. It's an unusual amount.
What?
Most people.
very unusual.
Most people, if they dabbled in shidduchim, if they did 1 or 2,
Baruch
that's
Hashem.
considered a lot.
Baruch
But
Hashem.
when you go to these speeches, let's say you're in a hotel for Pesach and it's 3-day yontif, and all they have is classes.
How did I
One of
know
them
he was gonna say
is
that?
one of them is going to be about shidduchim.
scary.
So my question is, they always encouraging that everyone should be a shadchan. Okay.
I don't agree with that. but
Okay, that's why I'm asking you. Should everybody
Well, I
try to
thought
make
you were
a
gonna go somewhere else with that
Okay,
question.
then I'll let you follow up then. So, should everybody dabble in shidduchim, and is there like shidduch malpractice that people people could?
You know what? I think everybody could try to set up other people. I really do. I think it's beautiful, and I love that people are more involved now. But sometimes they don't really know what they're doing. And sometimes they should ask for advice. Now there's very big dating coaches. But I find with dating coaches, they only hear one side of the story. And like I've had experience that people I was the Shadchan, but they went to speak to a dating coach. And I said, what is she going to tell you that, or he?
What does a dating coach do?
What does it? They hear your side of the story, basically what your problem is, and they tell you, try this, try that, or it doesn't sound good, or that's a red flag. Hear the boy side of the story, or vice versa. You have to hear both of them.
They have to be there together at some point.
They don't, because the girl, they don't.
So the first time they'll have a fight, let's say they do end up with each other, and there's no dating coach. That first fight, that's going to be a bad one.
That's premarital counseling.
That's right.
That's a different sugya altogether.
Okay.
Do you believe in that?
Yes.
Going to a therapist to...
do I believe in it? It's so funny. Now, as the world gets more open, I think it's a good idea. When I was doing it and when I still do it, the dating time and the engagement time, the dating time should be bliss. If you have to go to a dating coach when you're dating and you have problems already,
right?
This is the fun time.
Right.
You're dating, it's exciting, you're getting to know them, blah, blah, especially in the from Shidduch world. But if you right away, after 6 dates, you find things that bother you and you don't know how to get past them, I mean, you could try and sure it works, but the only time I think you need a dating coach is when you really keep on going out and nothing is clicking. So what are you doing wrong? And they could help you. I know that has helped many people.
So when you say nothing's clicking, it means that no one's feeling that they're getting any closer to closing the deal?
Personally.
It's what?
No one's
Personally.
no one's getting closer to closing the deal, so to speak. The boy's not proposing. Is that the issue? Do you get involved in proposals also? Do you orchestrate proposals?
I have, not always, but I have. When I feel they dated a certain amount of time and I hear the feedback back and forth and I hear everything, then I would say
it's time.
I have said many times,
for you.
It's time.
Time to pull the trigger.
They both parents would say, what do you mean? And I'd say, it's time. Get them engaged now. Why? Because there's momentum. And they really seem to like each other. There's just all the minutia that's getting involved, and then they're going to panic now. And then afterwards, during the engagement, yes, there's times when they disagree or stuff comes up, but with the right parental explanations,
So is there a difference between premarital counseling and a dating coach? Do they play different roles, or is it the same thing with different names?
No, I don't. I think, like I said, dating coaches only see, I don't know
They
only,
see
but
them
what I've
up
heard, they
until
only
they get
see one
engaged.
side. A dating
Or
coach,
it's
when
one
a girl
side.
calls up, the mother of the girl calls up a dating coach, that dating coach is hearing the girl's side of the story. She does not call up the boy and say, okay, what's your side of the story? I've never heard that. It could be that happens. I don't know. But premarital counseling is when you go together.
Right.
And they tell you if he burns the cholent, if she burns the cholent, don't throw a fit. Or if she doesn't want you to stay out for Kiddush till 2:00 in the afternoon and then come home drunk.
Right.
These are exaggerated things that doesn't happen.
No, they do happen, though.
And so he has to understand, you know what, you may be right. I really should be more aware of that and try.
So marriage counseling is after you're married, right?
Marriage counseling.
It's after you're married, usually.
But that's like
premarital counseling is before you get married.
And after marriage, my father-in-law always said that there's 5 minutes before midnight and 5 minutes after midnight.
Right.
Midnight is the chuppah.
Right.
If you find something wrong or something's not sitting right with you 5 minutes before you're walking down the aisle, don't. But 5 minutes after, when married, it's a whole other ball game.
Right.
And then you have to go for counseling.
Right.
And because these days people get divorced very quickly, but you have to delve into what happened to bust it all. And is it something to save? How hard do you want to work? And people do work hard, and some of them get saved and some of them don't.
So
Would you say most of the divorces happen because of the parents getting involved? Sometimes they have to sit back and see what happens.
No, I do not feel that way. Not for you. Not for the young people. No.
How young? When they're 25, they should
No, when
be
they're
able...
21 and
21, I
22 and
understand.
23.
Yeah.
And everything hits the fan,
But then
and
the
they don't know
mothers and
what to
father
do.
says, "Come home."
No, you should not say
Okay,
come
but
home.
that's what's happening.
I have been involved in things like that, and
So as a shadchan, the process for you doesn't end with the
Never.
wedding night.
it should end for me
Yeah,
at
it should
the
end.
wedding
You should be
night.
going on to doing more shidduchim.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so
you gotta,
I
do you say? Are you working on saving marriages?
no.
Is that why you have a perfect record?
No, I don't. After I get them married and I see them walk down the aisle, it's
Then
bye-bye.
you go home.
But until they get there, I'm busy 24 hours a day, morning, noon, night.
Wow.
I could write a book.
You should write a
Good
book.
idea. You should.
So speaking to the boy and the girl, or speaking to their parents, or both?
Everything. Everything. I have such great stories.
So we always discuss this one thing.
Tell us some stories.
Tell some stories.
Tell us one story.
Let me ask one thing.
Then I'll tell you stories.
Do you encourage these girls, right? They go out to shul on Shabbos. I find that a lot of the girls don't even put makeup. I don't wear makeup on Shabbos, but why don't you put makeup on before Shabbos?
Because it doesn't stay on.
No, a lot of it
does.
does. A lot of it does. You could see the girls, they're walking out as if makeup never passed their faces.
Like it wasn't invented yet.
And I'm shocked. I'm saying, you could tell if there's some residue left. I find that no.
These days, they don't have Hungarian mothers or Polish mothers when they said, for the shidduch, you put on the makeup. You're allowed by halacha. My friend's mother used to say
friend's
that.
father told
They
her
said,
that.
you must. It's
No, but they should wear it
b'da'oraisa.
before. Come on. If you put on eyeliner and you put on certain things, I understand lipstick, no, but there are certain things that will
They're not
stay on.
taught
Will stay on.
They're not taught like that in school.
Not to even put on before,
In
but they
school, it's a different world. In school, for
That's
Beis Yaakov,
right.
no way.
They're taught to go into Shabbos and Yantav.
And the
looking like
boys,
a ghost.
and if they see a girl with makeup on and it looks like makeup, they will not go out with her because she puts on makeup on Shabbos. Though you tell them it's Shabbos makeup.
Or it was put on before.
Yes, it was put on before.
They won't believe you.
Some will.
Something's so wrong.
Okay, you had a good story you're going to tell us.
Yes.
I have so many. Which one should I pick? Okay, one of my favorite stories was, I have two. I met somebody a long time ago in the doctor's office, a mother, and she said to me, my son is starting to date, blah, 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 and I had a very good friend who had a daughter that was starting to date. The daughter only wanted a 6-foot guy because she was 5'6", and she wanted a guy that's going to work and be successful and ambitious, blah, blah, blah. And this boy was 5'6" on a good day, cute and fun, and his mother said he's going to learn and go to Eretz Yisrael and learn. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, Hashem put it in my head to set it up. And they both listened to me. I don't know why. Anyways, they went out. He comes to the door. He takes out the girl. He's a midget. And she goes, I'm not going out with him again. No way. But then I called and said, he thought you were the most gorgeous Barbie he's ever seen in his whole life, and he is dying to go out with you again. So her mother said, go out one more time. Be nice. They went out. She had the best time, but no way. He's a midget. I'm not. And I said, and of course he came home, oh my God. And I said, but he's wild about you. Like, do it. And it was my good friend. So they kept on going out. Finally, the girl said, I cannot do it. I'm having a great time. He's a great guy. I don't care about the learning so much going to Israel. We're not going to go to Israel, but whatever. I just can't. He's too short. And she broke up with him. Okay. It was Pesach. 10 o'clock in the morning, Chalamayid. He knocks on my friend's door and he goes, hi, I came to see so-and-so. And she goes, but you broke up. And he says, no, she may have broken up with me, but I didn't break up with her. Okay. And he was a 21-year-old little boy.
Wow.
And her mother called her down and she goes, I broke up with you. And he goes, but I didn't break up with you. And he pushed, and then they got engaged. Okay.
That
and
is
then
unusual.
The whole engagement, she kept on saying, I'm not going through with it. I'm not. And her mother said, she's not going to go through with it. I said, she better go through with it. What do you mean? And by the decking, I went over to her and I said, so are we going through with it? She goes, I may be running. I said, you are not running. I stood there and I watched her walk down the aisle. Guess what? Every year they send me flowers. They're married Kanai and her are 18 years or something,
Wow.
and they are the happiest couple, 6 children later.
That's
and I
great.
still say, but he's a midget.
5'6" is
great.
not, by the way. In some families, 5'6" is
That's
fine.
great. What's your other story that you wanted to tell
My
us?
other good story is so there was this boy and girl that both families wanted the shidduch to happen. The boy said no, 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 and this reason, that reason, and the girl really didn't want it either, but okay, but then she wanted it. Okay, for some reason, I got him on a bad night, and I said, come on. His friends were getting engaged. I said,
Right.
go out with her. What's the big deal? One date. So they went out. He had a good time. She had an okay time. She thought it was a little strange, blah, blah. They went on another date. Okay, he was getting, like, by the second date, third date, he was into it. Fourth date, she kept on saying, I don't know. By the 7th or 8th date, I was on the phone all the time, middle of the night. I call her. She calls me at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she says, we just watched the sunset together.
Oh, wow.
I said, the sunrise. I said, oh, so what do you think? Do you like him yet? She goes, I think maybe I like him. I said, oh. I hung up the phone. I called up the boy's mother, and I said, they have to get engaged today. She goes, what are you, crazy? It was 7 in the morning. I said, I'm telling you, she fell for him. Last night was the clincher. Do it. She goes, where do I get a bracelet? Who's going to plan the engagement? I said, I will. Don't worry. I had to call the girl's mother and say, okay, he's proposing tonight. She goes, she's going to say no. I said, she won't say no. She's going to say no tomorrow. I said, that's true, but we're going to get her engaged tonight. So I had their friends come with binoculars.
lot of
and do it.
responsibility.
I don't know what gave it to me. I promise you, I was an outer body experience, and
It
I
had to be,
promise
'cause I would never
I would,
want that.
and now if you ask me to do that, I would never do it. But then I was so sure because Hashem put it in me.
So do you
and
keep,
guess what? The next day she panicked, and the next day after that she panicked, but she stayed engaged. They got married. They are the happiest couple. I think 5 kids later.
That's
They're
unbelievable.
thrilled.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable
Yeah.
shidduchim, and it's
Yeah.
all Yad Hashem. I must say that 50 times over.
Right.
It's all
do you,
Yad
do you
Hashem.
keep do you keep track of how many children your shidduchim
Yes,
have
I
produced?
do. My husband made me a party
Okay.
for a big birthday, and a surprise was he made a video of many of my shidduchim, number
Okay.
2, number 5.
Wow.
And they're all with their children thanking me for making
Yeah.
their shidduch. And do you remember what happened to our shidduch? And I didn't
Wow.
stop crying. It was
Wow.
the biggest chus of my
Wow.
life.
How many? What's the number approximately?
What?
The amount of
What's
kids.
the number? Yeah, the number of kids approximately.
I don't of that they all have. I don't
Yeah,
know.
100
don't
probably.
It has to be when you
Has
think
to be
about it.
upwards of. Has to be over
If
100.
it's 60,
I hope
60
so.
couples.
I hope so. They're called my dividends. I
Yeah,
call
it
them
could
my
be 200.
dividends.
Okay,
Baruch
I think we
Hashem.
covered. I think we covered it all, Esta.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a fascinating insight into the world of a shadchan. I don't know if people out there are going to want to get involved in shidduchim or less so or more so after hearing what you have to deal
It's
with.
hard, but it's very
satisfying.
rewarding.
It's
But it
very
is
satisfying.
rewarding.
It's very satisfying. It's hard work, and like we from the little that we've done together in this, there are very taxing circumstances
But
that
when
could
you realize that you're making doros
Yes.
for Hashem and
Yes.
you're building Klal Yisrael and you're a
Absolutely.
part of that,
Absolutely.
nothing better.
Absolutely. I'm going to show you a couple of things I have on my phone after we stop
And Larry
recording.
always says he thinks he's doing a chesed just by letting somebody know that we're thinking of them.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
the
Yes.
fact that we're calling them up and saying, you know what, we have an idea.
They never have to go out, but the parents, especially if they have a child in their 30s or 40s, they're going to close their eyes at night and say, wow, somebody thought of me today.
That's right. 100%. My friend told me that. She goes, why aren't you setting up my daughter? I said, I try, I get no. She goes, tell me you try. Just tell me that you try.
Right.
And then I was more,
Right.
All right,
aware.
fantastic. Beautiful insight. Thank you very much. I guess
Thank
has
you
been
very much for
the
having me.
noted Shadchan. Are you a Shadchan or a Shadchan?
Shadchanit.
Shadchanit. You're Shadchanit Altchie Pelcovitz. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us.
And
Thank you.
continue.
It's an honor. Thank you
On
very
this
much.
edition of Between the Lines, the electronic version of the Five Towns Jewish Times. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We will see you next time.